In 2012, Hurricane Isaac swept through Louisiana. Strong winds and storm surge forced the Mississippi River to flow backwards, flowing upstream for almost 24 hours as far north as the Red River Landing. Over 901,000 homes and businesses lost power in the state, affecting approximately 47% of all state customers, while the storm surge inundated parts of Plaquemines Parish with as much as 17 feet of water. Despite this, Louisiana's first responders had few problems sharing critical information due to the outstanding performance of the statewide radio network.
The public tells me that what they worry about more than anything else is safety. They want to know that when they call for a police officer, for an ambulance, for any first responder, they want to know that somebody's on the other end and they're going to be there. They're going to come help them. Help is on the way. That's what the public expects from us.
During the 1980s, Louisiana was one of the first states in the country to deploy a statewide radio system. It was also the only functioning radio system available to first responders during Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. Unfortunately, the system was not designed to handle the quantity of traffic experienced during those hurricanes. And even worse, many of Louisiana's first responders were on their own disparate radio systems, leaving them without the ability to talk to one another.
Katrina was pretty chaotic. There were rescue efforts going on. There were police operations going on, there were anti-looting operations going on, and there was a lot of duplication of efforts because we couldn't communicate with one another over our radio system.
We actually had to verbalize, run people to each other through different communications to be able to talk to each other, which makes a terrible situation when it's life-threatening issues.
When we had outside agencies respond to come and assist us, from the military to state agencies, federal agencies, out-of-state agencies, we couldn't talk to them even if we had a radio.
Louisiana, like most places in the country, had a communications problem and needed more than just technology to fix it. It was going to require elected officials and first responders at all levels to come together.
Since Katrina and then afterwards, the state initiated the Louisiana Wireless Network System, which gave us the capability to communicate on a local level and a state level and then throughout the state with our partners.
It's a great system for all police officers and emergency responders to have in their hand.
We link radios together. We get that real-time information to those first responders, allowing them to be able to make good, tactical, sound decisions. Keeps it safe for them, keeps it safe for all the other officers that are responding.
But going to this LWIN system, now we have the ability to communicate not only with the state police, but the Office of Homeland Security, our local OEP, other fire departments that are already previously on the LWIN system. Interoperability with us has completely changed. It's so much easier now that we're on the LWIN system.
After Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, state and local officials came together to focus on a single statewide radio system for all first responders. This new system, called the Louisiana Wireless Information Network, or LWIN for short, is a 700 MHz P25 radio system. This mission-critical network provides integrated voice and data communications for first responders, including federal, state, and local officials. The LWIN system, which was made available by leveraging local, state, and federal funding, features over 123 tower sites and provides 95% portable on-street coverage throughout the state and 95% portable in-building coverage throughout 9 of the largest metropolitan areas. The system also features over 1,191 active channels, providing daily voice communications to more than 74,000 users at the federal, state, local, and non-governmental levels. In fact, there are over 457 different agencies on the system, and more than 70% of the users are from local jurisdictions.
When you have a small parish like we have, the system that we worked off of, we were limited to just talking to each other within the parish. Now we can communicate with everybody throughout the state.
Before the LWIN system, most local jurisdictions were using separate systems, totally different and different frequencies, very segmented. Now it's changed that it's one system, so it's easier to use.
The biggest advantage we have now is we can coordinate our medical response with Acadian Ambulance Service, which has a completely different dispatch unit than us. Communications between us and the ground units and the air med units themselves, completely different game now that we're on this LWIN system.
Where we used to have dead spots trying to communicate with our other departments 5 miles down the road, now we can talk like we're standing next to each other.
Without this system, we wouldn't be able to do the interoperability and communicate with these other agencies. And if we do have an emergency situation, that's going to be the key to resolving the whole thing.
To oversee this network, the state established a statewide interoperability executive committee to provide governance over this new system. The governing board includes 6 emergency response associations, 5 state agencies, and 9 local representatives. Approximately 75% of the governing board is comprised of local emergency responders. The LWIN system also has many benefits and features too. In addition to the increased coverage and call capacity, the LWIN network provides the ability to connect multiple first responders across the state, providing unprecedented interoperability. The network has been used to connect first responders during oil spills, the Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, and numerous other events.
When we have these huge events and we have all these outside agencies that come here to support us, we're still able to communicate effectively without any problems.
The wildlife and fisheries come in, EMS comes in, then our agency, the sheriff's office, is out there also. With the capabilities of this radio system, we can all communicate together.
We had an operation just this week that involved sheriff's office, city police, state police, and federal agencies, all on the same radio system. Simple, great communications.
The LWIN system to me is a lifeblood for Louisiana. It's the only way that we can communicate successfully all the information statewide, which is key to be able to respond to help our citizens here in Louisiana.
It is the single biggest success story for Louisiana to date.
The system is also permanently patched to Mississippi's radio network and shares several Gulf Coast interoperability talk groups. This was instrumental during the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, the largest oil spill in U.S. history, which dumped 205 million gallons of crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico. The LWIN system was linked to 6 other systems along the Gulf Coast, giving the United States Coast Guard and other first responders seamless interoperable communications from Galveston, Texas to Pensacola, Florida. This also allowed the LWIN system to help form the Gulf Coast Wireless Information Network, commonly known as GOHSEP, which is one of the largest regional interoperability networks in the nation. The system is also patched to Arkansas's Wireless Information Network.
One of the things we saw during the oil spill in the Gulf was that the effect that it had on Louisiana went into Mississippi, went into Texas, went into Florida, and we had to move along with it.
Another great benefit of the system is that it is available to all first responders across Louisiana, and the state does not charge any user fees to use the system. This makes the system very affordable to first responders.
A smaller agency, the smaller you are, the more your budget has to be stretched. So it would be very cumbersome to have to pay a user fee.
It's a win-win for everybody. I don't have to budget as much as we were budgeting for the upkeep and the maintenance of the systems we have.
It's a system in place, the state is maintaining it. We've got personnel that if it breaks, it's fixed. You just have to push that button and that radio works.
The biggest advantage from a local government standpoint is we don't have to invest in extra infrastructure. The infrastructure is already there, provided by the basic LWIN system.
It's a statewide system that makes everyone be able to communicate and work together in any disaster. And if the state cuts funding, it jeopardizes that from happening in our great success that we've had in dealing with responses since Katrina.
It's extremely important to continue to fund that system because we're a very small department with minimal revenue and we do not have the tax base to support purchasing that type of equipment.
When that police officer at 3 o'clock in the morning keys that radio, they shouldn't be worried about whether it works or not. They should feel comfortable and somebody at the other end is going to hear them. That's what this system brings to bear. And to be able to have that in Louisiana and to be able to provide that to our law enforcement across the state, that's a good feeling.
The future of the system is bright and the possibilities limitless. This new network being built by the state of Louisiana has the potential to exceed every interoperability goal set forth by the federal government. It also gives public safety and first responders the mission-critical tools needed to save lives and to be able to respond to natural and man-made disasters. By implementing this new network, Louisiana is now poised to expand its communications reach and the citizens are safer, all thanks to the LWIN network and the collaborative efforts throughout the state.
This is a system that's free. It's not the Louisiana State Police radio system. It's not the Shreveport Police radio system. It's not the New Orleans Police Department. It doesn't belong to a sheriff's office or any other type of agency. It belongs to the state of Louisiana, which is all of us.